When shielding or unshielding funds, a pop-up informs you to keep Railway open. This is in order to perform a Private Proofs of Innocence check. A Private Proof of Innocence is a private cryptographic assurance of the non-malicious origin of shielded funds. In other words, it makes sure funds being shielded are safe and not tied to a publicly known set of undesirable transactions. Private proofs of innocence are blinded, meaning that they don't reveal any information about the underlying transaction. Proofs are generated on your device, and as they are zero knowledge, remain completely private. After completing a transaction, you need to keep Railway open for several minutes. If you are performing a shield transaction, this will take an hour. This ensures that the Private Proof of Innocence has had enough time to process. If you don't wait for this final step, the transaction may be labeled as incomplete, and the funds may not be usable by the receiver until the next time the sender opens Railway. Private proofs of innocence behave slightly differently depending on the action you're trying to do. Shielding. Wait for up to 1 hour. Unshielding. Keep Railway open until the proof is computed again and the pop-up disappears. If your balance still does not appear after the Private Proof of Innocence has had time to run, try refreshing your balance. How does Private Proofs of Innocence identify bad actors? Private Proof of Innocence doesn't identify bad actors. This is fully the role of list providers who are independent and offer their own individual APIs. List provider data is taken in, and transactions prove against said data to state they are not bad actors. Does Private Proof of Innocence take custody of or freeze funds? No, never. Nothing in Railgun ever takes custody of funds. Tokens are always private key controlled. How do I check the Private Proof of Innocence status of transactions? To check if a transaction has been rejected by Private Proof of Innocence, first check the relevant Etherscan address depending on the chain you are checking. Next, copy the transaction hash that you want to monitor. You can identify which transactions are unshielded transactions because a token goes to a recipient address within the transaction. If you check a transaction with a shield status, it will show search not found. This is because Private Proof of Innocence info only indexes unshielded transactions. Paste the transaction hash into PPOI.info, and it will show you the Private Proof of Innocence status of the transaction. How do I check what list Private Proof of Innocence is cross-referencing when a transaction is rejected by Private Proof of Innocence? You can use PPOI.info to check specific transactions. What list providers do PPOI work with? PPOI currently uses the following list providers: Elliptic, Chainalysis, OFAC Oracle, Scam Sniffer, Purify, and Slowmist. How do I report bad actor addresses to list providers so that they will be detected by PPOI? Contact list providers or emergency reporting services like SEAL 911 to investigate such activity. You can report an incident to SEAL 911 at isac.securityalliance.org. How long does a PPOI check when I am doing a transaction on Railgun? If you're doing a shield transaction, you'll wait 1 hour for the PPOI to complete. If you're doing any other type of transaction, you'll wait 7 minutes for a PPOI to be completed.